Everybody. Good morning. Hope you're having a happy Friday. Friday morning. It's bright and early, very beautiful out here in California, in the Black Hawk area where I live. As you know, I'm your host or co host, I should say, Vinny Chopra, and also my co host right there in Las Vegas, Nevada,
All right.
Bo Eckstein. Hi, Bo. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well, doing well. Just been busy, really busy, busy season.
Hey, I like to hear the word busy, smart busy and good busy, productive, making a difference, action. Those are the right words for all of us to really watch those words. And I hope we could say those words to ourselves. You know what? It was a great day because I was very productive and I was busy in good stuff, right? We don't want to be busy watching television in this whole COVID going on? Well, actually, hey, the news is really good, John. Yeah, I mean, Bo, did you see market went up 1,952? It's 896 points up now. And I just sold some stocks. I said, do I want to be greedy and keep this $45,000 profit? Or should I let it go down to zero? I just cashed my chips this morning on one of the stocks and made 45,000. That's pretty good. Pretty good day, right? Anyway, but the key thing is, guys, you got to watch this show every Friday morning, 9:30 Pacific time and 12:30, of course, Eastern time. And Bo and I try to bring it to you. It's a real estate show. It's a real estate, multifamily, single family, flipping, all these different things, and loans, because Bo is the master at getting you great loans, great loans, and good percentages and everything. HUD loan specialist, I mean, bridge loans, all kind of loans. And again, my expertise is in real estate, in multifamily syndication, and bringing the pooling of the money together legally with our friends and investors and so on like that. And now we have kind of branched out into not only buying the C class that I could only afford many years back, 14 years back, but now we are able to buy B class, B minus, and B plus class, worth like 30, 40, 50 million dollars of worth. And the good exciting thing is that these are good asset class in commercial that will always be strong. I know we will have some shifting in the office space. We'll have some shifting in the shopping centers, as you know how much business is gone online and so forth like that. Anyway, but we have a great guest today, and she'll be joining us soon. And Bo, what's going on in your world, bud?
Just just a lot of different. I've been getting loan requests, all different kinds of loan requests. A lot of multifamily, but just a lot of business owners and cash crunches. The high net worth people that just need money right now and have a lot of equity in their property. So we're able to figure it out. It's just all over, all different loan requests. People building custom homes and people buying value add multifamily, and it seems like
Mhm.
there's a lot of activity right now.
Yeah.
And I think if you just stay focused, even during trying times like right now, these are the times where you can really kind of plant your foot down and make some progress.
For sure, for sure. Like we discussed, in the last many shows, that we will be seeing some great products coming on the market. Again, it's not going to be as much discount as a lot of people, projected. That's not going to happen. But it'll be still about 5%. I'm seeing talking to capital people and lenders and groups like that, and also brokers, real estate brokers. The sellers are not ready to take shaving on their haircut. Well, you are totally haircut, buddy, and I need a haircut. Haven't had haircut for 3 months with this COVID going on. But you know what? You're right. I think there will be so many opportunities that only those people who will be looking out for the opportunities and let the opportunity knock at your door, and you have to open the door. See, a lot of times opportunities knock at our doors, but we don't open the door. Isn't that true, Bo?
Exactly, it's definitely true. So yeah, I leave the door open right now because I want
That's right. Keep it open, guys. I'm telling you, like in India, and I'm from Indian culture, we say Lakshmi. Lakshmi can enter through any passage of your door. Keep the doors open, windows open, everything so that all this good energy can come in, right? When the opportunities come, we don't need to overanalyze. We need to jump in. But, be as shrewd, be as cognitive, be as able to and willing to take that risk, because this life is full of risks, right? But if you take the calculated risks in any kind of endeavor, you will be successful. So let's see here. Today we're going to be talking about quite a bit about different topics, in the sense that we are going to have a guest join us, Dr. Shweta Patel. I think she's in the house. Look at that. Look at that. There,
Talk about
I
perfect
just
timing.
perfect timing. What a great entrance, Shweta. Welcome. Welcome
Thank you.
to the show. Thank you for driving all and getting in time to join us from down in Orlando, Florida, guys.
Hmm.
Dr. Shweta Patel, and we're going to dig into her past and present and future, her plans. It's been such exciting that I've come to know her for a few years now, and she's made a big impact in my thinking, my planning, and it's just so wonderful. Let me kind of introduce you, Sweta, a little bit formally. You are MD, you are FACOG. Your company's name is Shwepa Inc. with the SHWEPA. I like
Yeah.
that. And Shweta is the founder of Shwepa Inc., a real estate education and investment organization that is dedicated to helping physicians, guys, please, everybody, all the physicians, the whole profession, open up and watch this here. Spark fire. I like that, spark fire. Fire, actually, she writes it as financial independence, retire early. Look at that. Financial independence, retire early through real estate investments. And though she began her journey in real estate investing in single family homes, like most of her did, of all of us, homes and in new construction rentals, Dr. Patel ultimately pivoted her strategy toward multifamily investments. We'll ask her how she got in an effort to scale faster, realizing how many of her other own colleagues in the healthcare industry were not informed about where to even begin in real estate investing. She began to use her company as a platform to start a mastermind doctoring real estate. I love that, doctoring real estate. She's also able to start the Orlando Real Estate Investment Group, known as the Bigger Pocket BPMCO. Over the course of 1 year, Shwepa has been able to shift from 6 single-family home portfolio to one that has exclusive ownership of 3 mobile home parks. Aha, we can talk about that. And a limited partnership and general partnership in 2 syndications, resulting in over 500 doors portfolio in just a couple of years, guys. So it's just so exciting. I know she, was in the Navy, right, Shwepa? So
Yes.
welcome. Let's welcome Shwepa. All right, Shwepa,
Thank you.
take us through your journey. You came from India, or you were born here, or how?
Actually, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show, Vinny.
Sure.
And Beau, very nice to finally meet you,
Nice to meet
if
you.
not in a virtual way, but nevertheless. And then I did want to really quickly say, just because I know y'all have some common, common links and whatnot. The real estate interest group that I started in Orlando was initially titled Bigger Pockets Orlando, but it's not affiliated with biggerpockets.com in
Sure,
any
sure,
actual formal or legal way. It is an
sure,
interest group. Just
sure.
to say, I
Thank
may
you.
have noticed Beau's pictures
Yeah.
with Brandon Turner and David Green. So don't want anybody starting to call the Bigger Pockets police on me.
Oh, don't worry
Girls
about
got to do
that.
her Facebook research. I may have looked y'all up a little bit, just saying. But as you were asking me, Vinny, I actually was born neither in India nor here. I was actually born in Paris, France.
Ah,
And it just happened that my parents were actually when they first moved out of India, that's where they first had an opportunity to go. And once they were somewhat financially not stable, but not at least in, trial and tribulation, they were able to afford tickets and their way to come to the United States. So I was brought up in Brooklyn, probably from the age of like 2 or 3 years of age. And then pretty much spent most of my life in New York, and bounced around a little bit back and forth, but predominantly New York, and went to medical school, courtesy of the United States Navy, compliments of rather. And it was a fantastic experience. I never thought that it was going to be such a lifelong, perpetual experience. When I started, I thought it was just going to be a way to afford medical school. And that was a very, very limited view on what this actually became, like a lifelong journey and relationship. But through the Navy, I was able to attend medical school, graduate without any debt, and start my training not only without debt, but actually some money saved, because we were getting a stipend as a medical student to just be able to survive. As medical school would take so much time, there was no time to go work and have money to afford existing. And so my colleagues and my classmates, whereas they would be taking out loans to pay the rent and loans to eat, I was fortunate enough not to need to do that. So I definitely felt like I started out in residency training with that advantage, and really some wonderful financial, sound investment strategies that I picked up on the way, including starting my Roth, investing early, saving. And so by the time I was probably maybe 5 years into my professional career as an independent OBGYN, I was ready to purchase a home. And that led to my initial entry point into the real estate world, where I found out that I can use a physician loan and a VA loan to purchase a home with little or no money down. And that's kind of what triggered it, which is like, wait, I don't have to actually have money or that much money to buy a house. And then when I leave, because with the military, you would have to perpetually move every couple of years, I could rent it out. And my tenant was then paying for my mortgage. And it was like, this is brilliant. Then I'll just go to the next city that I'm stationed at and then buy another house and do this over and over again. I ended up actually doing that for maybe about, like I said, the 6 single family home portfolio that I had. Most of them in the Memphis area is just where I happened to be living at the time. And it was working out great. Brand new construction, nothing would ever go wrong. My tenants were great, and these were luxury homes, so I was getting paid a decent amount in rent and cash flowing. But then one tenant left, and I couldn't find another tenant for 3 months, and entire plan backfired. Because the cash flow was just marginal. And for me, I didn't actually do it for cash flow as much as I was doing it so as to have assets being paid for by other people. And then second, have a tax advantage. And third, because it just seemed like a great idea it would be silly not to take advantage of the loan strategies that I had to my disposal. So I, at that point, realized single family home rentals are great if you're good at managing a portfolio by yourself like that. And B, for me in particular, if I was on site or living in the same city, it was a lot easier than if I was to move away and see if there was any vacancy. One single family home rent could outdo all the cash flow of my other homes. So that's kind of what led to my moving in the direction of multifamily, and specifically mobile home parks.
Oh, when did you move to Florida then? Yeah.
So I moved to Florida in 2019. So last year, April. And I moved to Florida. It was just, I firmly believe in the universe and signs, and, things are meant to happen a certain way. I know you do too.
Yes.
And things just kept aligning to go to Florida. My first mobile home park was in Lakeland. And then I was also being vetted for a job, which is my current position here, around the same time. And I'm just like, this is weird. Florida was something I would have never considered moving to. I'm a New Yorker and I'm a Northeasterner, and it just seemed not like where I would end up. And suddenly here was an opportunity times 2. And it seemed, like I should take advantage of it. So that's how I came down to Orlando, and with my first mobile home park under my belt. Yeah.
Very good, very good, exciting. I know. I remember when we met, and you said, "Vinny, mobile home parks are not the same kind like we used to think about, right?"
Right,
And
right.
you presented that beautiful PowerPoint. I still have indelible, pictures of how a lot of very, very good residents, right? They need, and the whole, rap about, mobile home term and so forth.
There is a
Yeah,
stigma
it's
to it, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there is some validity to that, as most things, and then there's also a lot of stereotype to that, as most
yeah,
things. I think generalizations only work so much and so far, but
sure.
it is an asset class that does kind of leave no further to go when it comes to
Mhm.
the lowest rent and
Sure.
the lowest level in terms of like cost of purchasing
Yes.
this asset class. It is one of the cheaper ones. It is also a
Mhm.
lower rental rate. But at the same time, the advantages of it being, if you have enough homes or enough parks with enough homes, then
Yes.
the rent starts to add up, even if it's a small amount or a
Small
fraction of
amount.
what you might be getting in a multifamily apartment. And then the bigger reason or motivation behind it for me was that it was something I could do completely passively. As a
Yes.
physician, not having to respond to toilets, termites, and tenants
Hmm.
was very appealing. And I realized, wait, I can purchase a park where every home is owned by a tenant, and I'm just renting a parking spot, which I learned from Brandon Turner at Bigger Pockets, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
And so, this is fantastic. They're always going to need that land. And if they don't, somebody else most likely will. It's very difficult to move a home, and not to exploit the circumstance, but they are, also benefiting from the ability to have such a low rent situation where they can still
Yeah.
provide their family a home. And
Sure.
that was the other pretty awesome thing about it, is that most of these residents, they would otherwise not have a home. They actually have a
Yeah.
house that they can live in,
Yeah.
not an apartment, not a small studio. They are able to provide their family a home. So it kind of feeds into that American dream thing where families are able to purchase their first home, and it's still very cheap and affordable. And it is also a very resistant,
Oh,
recession resistant
recession. So
asset class
true.
as well.
Totally.
Which
Totally.
strangely enough, I kept saying that, and I'm like, but is it? Is it? And then, but I'm seeing it right now. I'm like, oh yeah, it is. It's very resistant. No one failed to pay their rent, even despite the fact of the high unemployment rate right now. So
Sure.
it's been a pretty good
Awesome.
run. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Bo, you have some question, bud?
Sure, sure. So, for our listeners out there, what what are the keys of buying a mobile home park? I mean, I see a lot of different viewpoints, but I want to get your views on this. If I'm looking at buying a mobile home park, what are your kind of underwriting criteria? Like if there's a lot of park owned homes in there, is that no good? Do you like just own the dirt and not any of the homes? I mean,
It it
yeah.
really depends on what your experience level is and what
Mm,
you are wanting to become in terms of experience level. When I
mm,
started out, I wanted this to be as foolproof, just add water kind of a mobile home park. And so I picked a very stabilized, albeit not the most in terms of return. Like there are definitely parks that give you a higher return than the first one I purchased. But I knew that it was going to be my starter park. I knew it was going to be my training wheels. I wanted to learn the ropes before I dived into a project. So I was looking for a park that was small, not medium sized or large. And so the first park I purchased was only 8 units, and
mm.
it was in a solid MSA, which basically making sure that even if the park doesn't work out in the future, you can rely on the fact that the land you own is still going to be worth something.
Sure.
So that was one of the criteria. The second thing was that I did want all of them to be tenant-owned homes so that I would
Yeah.
not have to worry about the management end of it. And again, not because I haven't
Hmm.
managed homes before, but I've never managed mobile homes. I don't know what goes into managing mobile homes. Like, and again, doing a lot of research through, Mobile Home University, Frank Rolfe, listening to Brandon Turner, I was able to start learning more and more about things that like are important when you have actual park-owned homes, and different things based on where your park is. In the north, it's very important to make sure you're protecting your mobile homes from, the cold temperature.
Yeah.
In the south,
Yeah.
you have to make sure you're not in the flood zone, or you have to make sure that there
Yeah.
isn't any issues with plumbing and the septic tanks and whatnot. So learning that slowly was my strategy. And so I wanted something very straightforward. Now, when I look at a park, it's definitely something where I want to have a very good upside. And by
Sure.
upside, I mean, there's got to be room for something to be turned around within the first year, where whatever is currently being made in terms of the cap rate can be significantly improved. I am still weary of using or kind of getting involved in a park that's not public utilities or doesn't at least have a septic system. I'm not about doing like wells or lagoons. I just don't have any experience with it yet, and so I've stayed away from that kind of a situation.
Sure.
And then also making sure that the overall tenant kind of demographic is tenants
Yeah.
that have continued to be reliable in terms of paying on time, because I am not going to be able to drop delivering babies here in Orlando to drop, fly over to Oklahoma to
Yeah.
make sure that somebody pays me the $125 of rent in a month. It wouldn't even be worth the flight. And
Totally.
so that circumstance, can be easily taken advantage of as a landlord. Your tenants can take advantage of the fact that you're not nearby and
Sure.
become problematic. So one of the criteria was making sure that I saw the books of the previous owner and saw that they were reliable tenants, and that the park was overall a safe and non-problematic park.
Are you using
Awesome. Oh no, go ahead.
Are you
Yeah.
using for so you're not using any management, you're basically just putting on, are you working with like Cozy app or something to have these people pay, or how do you
No.
collect?
And again, this is where I need to improve my systems. But work and COVID have definitely kind of gotten in the way of being able to do that as effectively as I had, set a goal for this year. I am still doing the manual, mail me a check and I will deposit it myself and then upload all the information into my Excel spreadsheet situation. I recently purchased a park in Missouri, which is 35 units, and it's my largest park. And
Yes.
so I definitely was like, I can't do this. I'm not going to be chasing people around for checks and making sure that I'm depositing them on time and et cetera. So I established a bank account at a local bank nearby, and they are now just directed to deposit directly. I just check the books at the end of the month. And anybody who's not paying on time, there is a tenant that lives on site who's not the park manager per se, but she has become kind of the go-to person when something is up, and I'll pay her like a per, a la carte kind of a
Sure.
cost or pay for her services. So she'll arrange for things if something goes down immediately in an acute setting. But
Excellent.
otherwise,
Excellent.
managing them
Yeah,
pretty much myself.
I love it. Love it. Shweta, I wanted to ask everybody if you wouldn't mind. I know yesterday
Sure.
we had a great show. I wanted to share with everybody. We started a new show on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific on senior living investing.
Yeah.
It's the innovative senior living investing. And please go ahead and let us know, those who are watching us or listening to us, please put your name in the chat. And also let us know where are you from, if you don't mind. We'll try to do that on every show so that we can talk to you and you can ask us questions also from the guest or from us, so that Beau and I can answer and our guests can answer. So please, if you'll take a little time, put your name or, and let us know where you are watching us from, what city, state, like that. Shweta, so let's take you to multifamily. I understand you are kind of turned the corner now and you're getting more excited about multifamily. Why? and how and everything. Yeah.
Well, I met this gentleman. He's a pretty goofy guy, really a lot of energy. I don't even know what he is using on the side. His name is Vinney. And seriously, it was just like, just a soul connection. I mean, you know the story, but for the sake of Beau, after meeting you and learning about the syndication of the Bentley, I was able to very quickly kind of ascertain how the syndication model works. I tried to apply it to mobile home parks, and I know that a lot of people are doing that, but just not on the scale of the parks that I'm comfortable with yet. So I figured, why not do both? Instead of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, I'll continue doing my mobile home parks. There will be my long-term, like long game, and then syndications are more of my like 3 and 5 year kind of investment goal. And so with your mentorship and constant guidance, I was able to initially just get involved in the Bentley, but then subsequently also get involved with you in Princeton Park and actually become a general partner. And now I'm really excited because what you're doing now is kind of up my alley with regards to medicine, which is, a senior assisted living. And it's such a great area to invest in. And the way you've set it up right now, it just seems like such a good investment as well. And an investment that, especially as a physician, I feel good about getting behind. And so I'm excited to share that with a lot of my colleagues. A lot of my colleagues are excited to kind of step in and put, their or reorganize their portfolio so that is a decent amount of it. And so that's pretty much where I started pivoting a little bit more into the multifamily area.
Thank you. I know you mentioned that you are educating your meetup groups and all. I really commend you on that. I think
Thank
that's
you.
tremendous to, give the information, because a lot of people are threatened by, they say, oh my gosh, somebody's trying to sell us something. And that's what I
Right.
tell my, students and investors and all. We never ask for anybody to invest in. We just share the
Right.
opportunity and
Yep.
educate them about it. So
Right.
about the retirement, so how are you teaching them, and what kind of nuggets can you share with the audience
Sure.
today? Yeah, please.
So I think that basically, and I agree with you in terms of like sharing knowledge, it's kind of very similar to how I work with my patients. I'm all about educating, and I'm all about them making their own decisions. And when it comes to these doctoring real estate events that I hold for my physician colleagues, it's the same thing. I start off usually with some kind of a topic that is very important for them to at least have some basic knowledge about. For instance, like the solo 401k mastermind that I did with Damian Lupo, and you were there back in the fall. And then the most recently, just the general basics of real estate investing, and kind of knowing how you can take your first step into it. So the point of this being, I think that the reason why a lot of my colleagues will probably be more interested, particularly in this asset class, is because the turnaround time is quicker, which always I feel like makes people a little bit more comfortable, because nobody right now in particular with the current state of things wants their money tied up for too long. And more traditional syndications that might have like a 10-year, long game, I'm not seeing a lot of interest from my group, at least in that scenario. And definitely not for the first timers who are like, okay, I just want to test the waters. I don't know if this is something I really want to be doing. So I like it for that reason. I like for the fact that it's a new construction facility. And, you can't beat the fact that you're providing, I mean, you were already providing a great quality product when you would take over or acquire a apartment building, and then with your management group, you turn it around and make it so that it's even better quality for the residents. But how do you beat quality that's brand new, and
Yeah.
amenities that are kind of more like comparable to when people are going on vacation versus going to a senior home, so having those amenities, having the brand new construction. I think I said this to you too when you first mentioned it. I was like, I want to go live there. These facilities like make so much sense. I'm like, and for the amount of money that it costs for someone to live there, it's just like, what the heck am I doing? I should be living there. And like, I'm pretty sure my cost of living alone, even though I'm a single girl in her 30s, like is more than the rent that is for the cost of a resident in, for instance, the Hamilton Park that you were talking about. So I think it's a great product. I also like that it's a great investment. And I think it's easier in initial investment step for people who are prone to being hypercritical, super skeptical, and very, used to being very informed about everything. So they're not comfortable not being informed about something like real estate. In other words, physicians, trying to get them to take a step towards real estate investing, it has to be baby steps, and this is a great place for them to start.
That's very good point. Sure. Bo, yeah.
No, I'm just taking it all in. You're delivering some good value today. I like what you're
Sorry,
saying.
I'm a yapper. I don't know if you guys noticed.
No,
Taking up all the
this is
airtime here.
good. This is good. No.
This is the first time Vinny's ever been quiet on the show. So he's
I
listening.
love it.
He's listening. But
Yeah.
so I want to get your take. I've actually never been to Orlando, and like, so how do you like living in Orlando? What's the job growth? What's your outlook for real estate
Sure.
there? Yeah.
I think, and I'm just going to kind of give you guys a heads up. I do have to get going in 5 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
But
Sure.
it's a fantastic question, because when I moved down here, I had very low expectations. And I think beyond the fact that I had low expectations, I was very pleasantly surprised. But not only that, just the community here is just, I can't say enough about how I actually feel like I'm ready to lay down roots somewhere for a change. And being in the military and having moved around so much, that says a lot, because I think I almost got used to moving every couple of years, so that even after I got out, I was still moving. And so I love the community. I think that it's a community that is not a lot of local, which is something you wouldn't expect, because, it's Florida, but at the same time, Orlando itself has a constant flux of new people moving in. And there is a very high job market here, not current situation included, but there's a lot of industry here with the theme parks. There's a lot of industry here with healthcare. And then there's a lot of industry here, even just with real estate and construction.
Yeah.
And so jobs here are very, very plenty and available. And that is driving a lot of people to move here in various levels of asset classes of living and housing. It's also, senior living capital. So there is still that very strong demographic as well. And strangely enough, because there's so much land still here, it's still economical to live here. The cost of living here is not like the cost of living in other cities like Atlanta or some other MSAs where you try to get in, but the return is just not as juicy as you would find here. And as far as population growth goes, coming straight from an OBGYN, let me tell you, population growth is not an issue in this town. In fact, I'm expecting quite the tsunami, probably 9 months from now, because everyone's been in containment. But I think beyond the fact that it's going to continue to grow, and new construction here has become a well-oiled machine, I think it's a great city for investing, in terms of both for well-established real estate investors as well as new investors.
So true, Shweta. I mean, I remember Kanchan and I, when we have made several trips there to Orlando, Tampa, all the area, and she loves it out there. I mean, we might be even buying a home there. And also the tech space, like the Melbourne space. I mean, our
and NASA. There's like
NASA, right?
I mean,
look
SpaceX,
at that. SpaceX
like
just got on the 9 years later. We just had the flight, and very successful one, two astronauts going up there.
Right.
But you're right. Yeah, no, it's very, very exciting. The whole Florida north side, we just love it there.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining. I know, thanks for taking the time from your busy schedule to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Shweta.
Well, it was
we'll
great to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
You take
All right,
care.
guys. You too.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a good one.
you.
Have a good weekend.
Sure. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, Bo, buddy. Yeah, and we don't really need to keep longer meetings, right? Sometimes we go for 1 hour, and so sometimes they are very, very long. But what other things? I know Shweta kind of shared some really good nuggets, about the mobile home park. I also interviewed Kevin Bupp, good friend of mine from Florida, who is also very big in mobile home parks. I have another Indian friend in New Jersey who is in very big also mobile home parks. It's a great industry. It's just that there are limited number of them, and many of them are getting taken away by the developers, right? Because they want to build, 2-story, 4-story, 10-story like that. It's a good class. But, again, we are in the multifamily into senior living now, hospitality with the hotels, with the things, improving and so on. What else can we discuss today, or any question, guys? If you would have any questions, please do ask us so that we could answer some questions. Hi, Vishay, how are you? I just see, welcome. He says, thanks for inviting Dr. Shweta Patel to your weekly show. Pretty impressive. Very good, very good. Any other comment? Raj Rudra. Hi, Raj. Good morning. Will attend. Beau Show is great. StreamYard live. Any other one? John is there. Okay. So, any other thing, John? I mean, Beau, you want to talk about, bud? Or
No,
then we.
I just liked that. It was a great interview. I like the fact that she's young. She's in her 30s. She's a doctor.
Mhm.
So she's very successful in her business, and what she does as a doctor, obviously. And then what she's now, she's positioned very well because she's around people that make high incomes and don't have time to invest in real estate. So, I think she's going to go really far in this real estate investing world. So
Sure,
very
sure. I
impressed.
agree with you. I agree with you, Bo. All right, there we are.
Yeah.
I knew that we have these banners. And hey, guys, you could always reach us at the, I think it's Instagram, I think at Vinny Chopra, and also Bo. Now,
No, mine's
is,
Bo Knows. That's wrong, but it's okay. It's Bo Knows Lending.
ah,
Bo Knows Lending. John never fixed
lending.
it.
Okay,
Where's
we need to.
John when you need him? But
Hey,
it's
I know. John had to go somewhere. But again, we have put together a great show for you. Oh, there is John right there, buddy. I was just going to say, but remember, again, we want to do it so that, you could give us some great questions so that, and, like, comment, and share, because this show is for you. And we would love to bring great guests. Please give us some suggestions also in the chat. Who would you like us to bring, on the show? And again, the big thing is it's a show on real estate, on lending, on loans, on investments, on, all the different variety of things. So I hope you like the show today. And, we look forward to a great guest next week. Bo is inviting the guest, and we do it alternative weeks and that way. But if any other question is there, I know we also have some time. John, go at the bottom. It is not working today. Where we put down like how people can reach. Oh, there it is. Thank you. I learned how to do that. So I think it went away. Oh, you want to share that, John, so that people can get to. You could text me at 925-766-3518, or for lending questions, you could text Bo 925-852. What's that number right there? It just went through very fast.
852
Yeah,
8261.
8261 right there, guys. All righty. Thank you so much. Bo, have a great weekend. Everybody have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week,
All right.
9:30 Pacific on Friday. And remember to really look also for the new show we just started on Thursday night. Bo, you also have a show on Thursday night. You want to tell us about it?
No, we moved ours to Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Tuesday at
Oh,
1.
okay. Tuesday at 1. Tuesday at 1 for Bo. And mine is at 5 p.m. Pacific on the innovative investing in senior living. That's a show. We had a great response. I think 850, no, 454 people have already seen, maybe even larger number. John, you want to come in, buddy? Where does it stand now? We just aired it last night. Huh? How big? Oh, we can't hear you. Yeah, I
We're
think
getting close
it's.
to 500 views in less than 24 hours, so very exciting.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
watched last night. You guys did a great job. I really like that, and your graphs are really good. Just looking at the demographic shift, right, with all the baby boomers, right? I mean, the writing's on the wall, right? Like we all know that and the thing is, people are living longer, right? So it's going to prolong everything. People going to live till they're 120 pretty soon. So this is going to be more important than ever.
Surely. And I wanted to mention that I know next week Bo is bringing the guest. The week after next, I'll be taking our audiences into multifamily. So we'll be sharing some PowerPoint and some graphs, and we'll show everybody, what it's happening, and probably give some good coaching and training right live so that people can ask questions. I think it'll be more meaningful if that's okay. Sure, sure. All right. Thank you again, guys, and good luck. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.